I'm Geoff Zanelli. I'm a Berklee film scoring graduate in 1996. You maybe recognize my music from Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, or the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I worked on all 5 of those, and the 5th one was my score, and the first 4 I worked with my good friend and mentor Hans Zimmer on, in addition to, I think I must have done about 15 movies with Hans. Pearl Harbor, Hannibal, I did with him, Rango, the Pirates movies. Also, I've had a great time working with other composers. John Powell is one of them, Harry Gregson Williams, some great mentors for me to have, Danny Elfman as well. Really, the pleasure of my career has been the filmmakers I've worked with. David Koepp, for instance, Gore Verbinski, Steven Spielberg, Jerry Bruckheimer, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Peter Hedges. These are people I'm lucky to have had trust me to write music for them. In fact, even with Steven Spielberg, I won an Emmy for scoring his miniseries, which was called Into the West, and I was nominated for a second Emmy for The Pacific that Steven made with Tom Hanks as a producer. I've come a long way in the 25 years since I've been over at Berklee. I started as a suburban kid in California. I went to Boston for my college, came back to LA and was an intern for Hans Zimmer when he was scoring The Lion King, and from there things just built up and up and up, and here I am. So the reason I chose to go into film scoring for my life's work really was, it dawned on me at some point, if things go as well as they could and I had a band, the best you can hope for is to play your hits for however many decades as people would care to hear them. But what I love so much about film scoring is I get to change hats 4 or 5 times a year. Just in the past year, I did Maleficent 2, which was a fairy tale. I did Black and Blue, which was a cop thriller. I did a movie called You Should Have Left, which was a psychological thriller, a movie called The House Next Door, which is a horror comedy, and I also did an opening ceremony for United Nations World Heritage Site. I get to do so many different things as a composer. That's what makes me so passionate about it. You'll find there's no such thing as a dispassionate composer. That's one thing that I've definitely noticed. We all have very strong joy and enthusiasm for the things that we do, and that's what makes a film composer. We love movies, we love music, and we somehow bought into this crazy idea that we can work both in the film industry and the music industry, which are like traditionally 2 difficult things to break into, but it turns out the community welcomes people. They want new, fresh ideas. And in fact, composers like each other. We like working with each other. We inspire each other. We collaborate a lot. It's another thing to be passionate about. Just such a joy to get to work with musicians I love, people I love, and make movies for audiences that, I realize not everyone gets to do that. There's just no greater time because there's so much content now. It's not just movies. There's television, there's video games, there's commercials, there's live shows. There's so much music being written, and there's so much of a need for original music these days, and fresh ideas and enthusiasm that it just feels limitless. It really always has for me.